Hello. It is 12, and as I promised, I'm going live. Since it's just me today, going live by myself with no assistance. I'm checking. Yep, I am live. Okay, wonderful. Also, as we are getting ready, let me see if there is sound to make sure that my mic is working. Why it stopped showing this to me? It is not showing it to me anymore. Why? For some reason, it is not showing it to me. It was live. Hold on. I am not seeing for some reason that we are live. So I want to make sure that William Pompadour says we're live. But I don't see the video. All right. I need for people who are watching. Okay. All right. For some reason, it's hiding from me. All right. At least I got confirmation that we are live on. Hold on, let me turn Do Not Disturb on before we do anything else. Okay. Okay, we are live on some sources. I thought I saw we are live on, but it's not live anymore. So anyway, we're gonna roll with this anyway. And then those who didn't get to see it on those platforms that I promised, I'm just gonna post a video. That's what we do. Okay. All right. We're going to get started anyway. Because all of that is being recorded. And if nothing else, I definitely want for you to communicate with me. I want for you to tell me where you're coming from. Any questions that you have for me, I want to know all of that. Okay. And also tell me what platform are you watching this on. So it's been a while since I actually went live to my public pages, right? I've been live in so many private pages, but it's been a while since I actually went live on my public pages. And the thing about what I'm about to share, the reason why I'm so excited, first of all, I was waiting to truly make the news to make sure that everything is fully set up and fully functioning before I'm making an announcement. And it is all set up and it is all functioning. And I am ready to finally make that announcement, which we will go in a second. But before we go, I like to start things off with a little bit of music, with a little bit of movement, with a little bit of shaking it off, because we are so stuck in our lifestyle, in like sitting, and we're just so, the energy is so stale in a sense, and we need to shake that off. And I have a very special song for you today that we're gonna shake that energy off. Okay, also, if you're watching, please tell me who you are, because I am streaming off of the platform and I can't see who's watching. So please tell me who you are, say hi, and also where are you coming from. Okay, I would love to interact with you. I love to, it's a back and forth energy. It's not me just talking, right? That's the whole point of going live. It's not just me talking, it's about me speaking to you and you speaking back to me. And it's a back and forth communication. It's not me speaking to the wall. You know what I mean? All right, are we ready to shake off some energy here? I have a very special song for you. Let me find the song and we're going to shake off that energy. Hold on. Perfect. Oh, wait. All right. We are ready. I have the song. Just make sure to give me thumbs up if you can hear the song.
She says life is unfair, nothing ever goes right. Everybody gets lucky, she's still losing the fight. Always blaming the weather, always blaming the past, always blaming another, never looking at herself. She keeps telling the story, keeps repeating the pain, then wonders why tomorrow looks exactly the same. Everybody else can see it, but she cannot yet see it. The prison isn't the world, the prison is her belief that one day something breaks and she can no longer hide, because the woman she was has already died. This is the rise, this is the climb, this is the woman reclaiming her life, from victim to power, from fear into flight. Dark femme rising, 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 stepping into the light. Now she's angry, now she's done. Now she's questioning everyone, all the rules she was given, all the lies she obeyed, all the masks she was wearing, all the roles that she played. Nobody's coming to save her. That truth cuts deep, but the day she accepts it is the day she gets free. She doesn't know the destination, she just knows one thing: she will never again go back to sleep. This is the rise, this is the climb, this is the woman reclaiming her life, from victim to power, from fear into flight. Dark femme rising, 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 stepping into the light. Then the war becomes healing, and the anger becomes grace. She stops.
Listen to her lyrics, okay? Listen.
She forgives what has happened. She
Listen to her lyrics.
She lets go of the story and writes a new name. She learns every lesson. She trusts what she feels. She lets the divine reveal what is real. No revenge, no proving, no need to be right. Just peace in her heart and trust in her life. Dark femininity was never the goal. It was the bridge that awakened her soul. Not a destination, not a permanent place, just a fire that burned what she needed replaced. Now she shines, now she knows, Now she trusts where she goes. She creates from her energy, speaks from her truth, builds her reality through what she chooses to do. She creates love, she creates wealth, she creates freedom by becoming herself. No longer performing, no longer playing small, no longer seeking permission from anybody at all. Financially free, spiritually whole, wild and untamed, yet fully in control. She lights the path without saying a word, because her very existence makes others feel heard. This is the rise. This is the climb. This is the woman reclaiming her life. Was the doorway, not the design. The destination was always the light. This is the rise. This is the truth. The power she searched for was always in her. She stopped asking the world who she should be and became the woman she came here to see.
Woo! All right, how was that for embodiment session? Okay, why do we dance? Why do we shake it off before we get started with any new information, with any new announcement that we're gonna make today? Because the society, we women live in stagnated energy. We are moving our body from one place to another. We sit here, and we forgot how to feel. We forgot how to work with our energy. We can't even, we are so numbed out. We are so distracted by what's outside, by what's on our to-do list, by everyone and everything that's in our way, okay? And so what brings us back into our body is music. What brings us back into our body is dancing. What brings us back into our body is when we cut off our brain and we step into being focused in some form of action, which is dance that is body connected. That is when we start feeling again. That is when we start feeling again, okay? So that is why embodiment is important before anything else. So if you are watching this today, tell me, what kind of announcement do you think we're gonna make, or I'm gonna make? Because I had a couple of guesses, right? One of the guesses was we finally gonna introduce our Phoenix wings. And to me, it was an interesting guess because we already introduced our Phoenix wings in the past, and we already know what it is and how it looks. And also, it is so in line with what people think, or how narrow people think about what I do, what we do as a company, as the philosophy, as the movement that I am here to create. Okay, it's a movement. It's not anything so narrow, right? You know that as of right now, I have 4 businesses, right? The photo studio is one, right? And people still think from a projection that for some reason what I bring to the table is the photo studio. But you forgot, what about the Love Goddess? The Love Goddess movement, the coaching, the transformation that I do with women, bringing them back to life, re-sparking their lives, re-sparking them to live this big life, to dream so big, to awaken them from the numbness that we were just talking about, from the numbness of the world. When was the last time you dreamed? When was the last time you did something you actually wanted to do, versus something that was on your to-do list. Okay, so this year, and that's not an announcement, by the way. This year, I started business agency business where I help men too with marketing, with funnels. So it's a very masculine kind of side of things. We take over not only your social media side of things, but also funnel building. So it's a very masculine, but very much needed part. And you can do it all in a feminine way, by the way. And also I started renting the studio to weddings. All right, so that is not the announcement. However, where was I saying? I was telling this to you, and sorry, I'm all over the place. My period started today, so like just bear with me. I'm a chaos embodied. Just bear with me, because like my thoughts are so all over the place. So I'm actually working hard to keep it all together and keep it concentrated without pulling into so many different directions. So the reason why I shared this with you is that you should not think with me, you can't expect the predictable. You can't expect the predictable. For example, the announcement that I'm about to make is something I could only dream about in the past. I never would have considered doing something like this. I never would have even imagined that this would be the realm of possibilities. Okay? The realm of possibilities. But somehow, in 2026, we have found ourselves as a society in a completely new age. In a completely new age. More on that later. More on that once I make the announcement, all right? We found ourselves in a completely new age where things that were not possible before, where you thought that was outside of the possibility of certain things even be real for you, are now coming up and becoming a reality for so many. Okay, so and by the way, if you are watching, please communicate with me. Tell me where you're coming from, who you are. I am live streaming from a platform. I can't unfortunately see who is watching, but I would love for this to be a two-way interaction. I would love for you to speak to me. That's the whole point of being live, right? I would love for me to speak to you. So tell me who you are, where you're watching from, and also tell me, what do you think the announcement is going to be? I'm getting so close. So close to giving you the announcement, all right? So, but people who suggested it was about the Phoenix Wings thought only in terms of boudoir or photo studio direction. It did not concern the Love Goddess coaching. It was not in the area of the agency. And my announcement touches none of those. None of those. All right? So. Oh my God. Should I just tell it to you? Like, should I just drop the whole, the hype up element, right? Like, should I just bluntly say it? Like, I don't know. I'm just like, how do I say this? Like, where do I even get started? It's so random in a way, but it is not. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it right now. Okay. And like, I'm just going to put it out into the world. And like, it's so weird for me to even say it. And then I'll tell you how it all unfolded. How about that? Okay. Drum rolls. What is the announcement? All right. Over the past 3 weeks, I don't know what's gotten into me. I don't know what's gotten into me. But I published not just one, two musical artists on major music platforms. Two, not just one, two artists. Okay. One artist is a rap artist. Another artist is a dark R&B artist. Okay. One artist who is a rap artist carries my name, Katya Melvin. The other artist who is R&B artist, her name is The Love Goddess with 3 S. The Love Goddess with 3 S. All right? And the reason why I needed to wait is because not every single album was published by the time I started sharing about this. And just 2 days ago, the finishing touches, the final album was, there was a technical issue with the album, and it was finally published. Okay? So, and I'm about to share with you the links to those artists. Okay, I'm about to share with you the links to those artists, and I'm about to share with you why this is special and why I am so over the moon excited, and like how even this whole thing came about and why it's important. Okay, how this whole thing came about. Let me start with that. You know, I started playing with AI music. Okay, it started off by just simply playing with AI music, and everyone plays with AI music right now, right? No big deal, right? Everyone plays with AI music. The difference is nobody is obsessed and crazy enough to turn it into a music artist. In fact, there are lots of AI music artists, but most people who are just playing with AI music, that's all they do. They're playing with AI music. I got so carried away to put my life's work into the lyrics of the music that I have created. That is why it's special. That is why it's special. I was so obsessed about the meaning behind the songs that I published. Okay. And when I published first of all, it has gotten, I could not, you know, when something like when you fall in love, you are like thinking about that person, you are like constantly just in that, you are obsessed, you can't even even eating is annoying, you want to get back to what it is that you are doing. I was like that for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I have no idea what has gotten into me, but I was infected. That would be the closest thing. I was so obsessed from like early morning to late at night, making the songs that are full of meaning, making the songs just for the song's sake of it. Tells like it's not exciting to me, but making the songs that bring impact. And then I was receiving these new ideas of how can I put my life philosophies and how can I express the body of work, because there are 2 bodies of work, through music. And I became so insanely obsessed with creating the meaning for those songs, for the music, for writing the lyrics, that I could not eat, I could not sleep properly, like in my dreams when I was gone to bed, like the song was playing. Like that is so not me, and I was not obsessed like that. Probably never. So something has gotten into me, and something has taken me by the shoulder, shook me up, and said, "You have to create this," and I just had no choice. Okay. So you say, all right, many people create AI music, but how many of them are crazy enough to research how they can become a published artist? And the funny thing is that when I started researching, in fact, all of that started with an idea that I wanted to use my music that is filled with my meaning and my body of work, that is transmitted through the medium of music and the lyrics and the songs. I became so excited with an idea of using my music for my reels when I'm creating, or the ads, or like all of the materials that I create for my own brand, using the music that represents the storyline so purely was on my mind. And as I started researching, how can I use that kind of music that I'm creating? It said, I cannot be using my music unless I become a published artist and I distribute my music professionally. So I was like, what is that? But I was so excited behind the idea of using that medium to enhance the body of work. So excited with an idea of people finally fully understanding what certain elements are about in the philosophy that I carry, in the philosophy that I teach, that I became unstoppable. And I figured it out, and I discovered, and I did my research, and I have published The Love Goddess, and I have published Katja Melvin. Okay? And the difference is that I created an album called The Stages of Awakening. Okay? And that is what I want to talk to you about right now. Okay? The Stages of Awakening was born from being misunderstood by people in my, let's call it extended circle, because my close circle fully understands what I'm about, but extended circle, who is probably shouldn't even be around me to begin with, right, is confusing the philosophies that I teach. Okay? They believe that there is so much confusion. There's so much confusion in lines of what dark femininity is. Okay? They think that dark feminine is something evil, is something taboo, is something to be afraid of. And maybe it is. But you know what dark femininity really is? Dark femininity is a stage of awakening, when you are awakening from numbness. When you are awakening from numbness. Okay? There are 5 stages of awakening that I have put into my album. And I was so passionate about creating a representation of each of the stages of awakening to share with you. So you understand that dark femininity is only stage 2 of a 5-stage process. Dark femininity is finally the moment you wake up from being a victim. From being a victim. And when you wake up, and by the way, I went through all 5 stages. Otherwise, I would not be sitting here and teaching you this and be so passionate about how wholesome it is for me to be able to put this body of work together in a form of a music. Dark femininity is only stage 2 that awakens you from the victim. And you know what that stage is about? It's anger. It's revenge. It is finally deciding to do something about it. It is finally stepping into your power. That's how your power starts. That's how your power starts. Okay? I just did a class on self-obsession less than a month ago. And woman in the class, woman in the class says that I am so angry and I want to do these things and I want to write bad reviews because I was sexually abused. I'm so angry, and I'm sorry I'm a mess. I really hate to like be showing this side of myself. First of all, no, we don't apologize for the messy side. What I was seeing in her is a woman awakening into her power finally. And there's so much more that's available for her. There is so much more that's available for her after she awakens into her power. Because stage 1 is a victim. All right? Stage 1 is a victim when you are, you kind of like, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and tomorrow going to be better. And you wake up tomorrow and you're waiting for the lottery ticket. You're waiting like I was waiting for my husband to save me. You're just waiting for people to come and save you. Okay? And you think that your change is going to come from some event that's outside of you. That's what I call the victim state. Okay? You believe that someone else is going to come into your life and save you. You think, like I was thinking, it was my husband's role was to save me. Then when he didn't, and I waited for 10 years, I accidentally got pregnant and I thought it was my child that's gonna come and save me. I'll finally not gonna work the shitty job and be a stay-at-home mom and my life's gonna be magical. And boom, at 36 weeks pregnant, that child has not survived. And I was back at square one. And yet again, I realize, and in fact, that it's called the rupture, okay? It's called the rupture. When the event, I always talk about 4 Ds. 4 Ds, death, divorce, disease, or death, divorce, disease, or death. Death, divorce, disease, or death. Usually, those are the extreme cases when you are not willing to move from the victim. Universe will make you. Death, divorce, disease. Okay? That's the moment of rupture. The moment of rupture when you cannot go back. There is nothing lower you can go. Like, that's your lowest point of your life. And many, many successful people have those stories. It's a moment of rupture. The moment of rupture is the stage when you shift from stage 1, the victim, the sleep woman, the one that's waiting for the world to save her, into stage 2, the anger. The anger. When you've been living, you've been wasting all that time waiting for things to come, for the prince on the white horse that Disney promised you. You've been living that story because at some point Disney brainwashed us into waiting for the prince on a white horse or whoever else. And you've been waiting and you wasted that time, and now you angry, and also you angry because you just went through the most painful part of your life, the rupture. The rupture. So your transition into stage 2, the anger. The anger. And when you are angry at why this has happened and why you were sleeping and why you were waiting all this time where you could have done something about it a long time ago, and now it's too late. So you angry that this happened to you. You angry at waiting. You angry for the people who have done you wrong. You are angry. But guess what? And that's what I call the dark femininity. You are finally, those are the signs that you are stepping into your power. You start being angry. It starts at that. That's what dark femininity starts as. Okay? Dark femininity is stepping into your power, stage 2. Okay? But there is another stage, stage 3, called acceptance and peace. When you made peace with what happened to you, you may not have been fully healed, but you've accepted and you've opened yourself up to move on from here. You are not as angry. You are at peace. You are ready to forgive others. Okay? You are ready to forgive others. And you're ready to forgive yourself and continue living. Because it's not like you have a different choice. That's stage 3 of awakening. The acceptance, peace with yourself, forgiveness. Okay? Stage 4 is what I call the love goddess. Stage 4 is the love goddess. The love goddess does not mean you are what's the word? You are necessarily like seducing all the men to fall and like you become the power. Like that's another misconception that I've been facing. Love goddess simply means you have come to love yourself. You have come to love yourself. You have come to love your life. That is the next stage, the stage 4 from the stage peace and acceptance. The next level to peace and acceptance is falling in love with your life and yourself. Not just be at peace with it. Fall in the fucking life with your life, with yourself. Finally start honoring yourself. Finally start honoring the life. Finally start honoring the selfish. People made the word selfish into such negative concept, and selfish is, and the reason is that's the whole psychological warfare that is being used to manipulate the society to be submissive and not step into the power. Selfish, they turned the word selfish into such bad concept that you are terrified. God forbid everyone thinks I'm selfish. But you know what selfish means, and that's the only way you can live in this life, because it's your life that you are here to experience and create out of. Only from the place of coming to yourself and loving yourself and honoring yourself and honoring your pleasure and honoring your desires, you can only then raise to the last stage of ascension, of awakening, right? I'm not finished talking about the love goddess yet, but the love goddess comes to herself, her authenticity. She falls in love with her life. She starts romanticizing life. She starts living what makes her happy. She stopped seeking that validation from the outside, and she starts receiving that validation from within. That is what I call, she became the love. She became the love. But the love is from within. The love is from within. She became the love from within. That love spills over and is a blessing for the people and the world around her. She shined herself up. She became the sunshine. She became the love. And she is shining so hard that other people cannot but notice and elevate. Just from observing her, just from being in her presence. That is what love goddess is. Not some random invented concept of being the dominatrix that people like always talking to me about. No. Love goddess is a concept of coming to terms, falling in love with self, and that is healing, by the way. You can only do that when you are at the highest level of healing, when you stopped seeking that validation from the outside. But guess what? Most people will think this is the end of the story. Oh, I healed. Oh, I became the love. Right? No, this is not the end. I'm teaching you from my own concept of the life experience that I have witnessed, okay? The next stage from the love goddess is the creatrix. The next stage from the love goddess is the creatrix. First, you have to come to your own self. Only seek your guidance from within. And from that place of being so deeply connected to yourself, because when you are connected to yourself, that means you are connected to the higher source of your own self, your oversoul. I could speak fancy spiritual language, but I know that I am here to speak to regular women like you, and I am using the most down-to-earth language I could find. So you understand, and you accept, and you realize that what those ascended masters, spiritual teachers are teaching is simply what it is that I'm sharing with you. From the place of a love goddess, you create. You are the creatrix, because from within you create the world on the outside. And you realize that the world on the outside is not something that's outside of you. It is simply a mirror to the world you living from within. And if you take this concept into a victim stage 1, you are creating the world of being victim. It's a mirror. The world is simply a mirror. The life is unfair, but you are the creatrix. And only from being at the mountaintop, you can realize that and see that. When you are here at the bottom, you don't see that. You don't know. Stage 2, the anger. You're creating the angry world. Stage 3, peace. You're getting better and better and better. Stage 4, the love goddess. You're coming to love yourself and the world reflects. That is how you become magnetic to people, beautiful people around you, beautiful experiences around you, men that just at your feet wanting to give you roses, not because you are some dark fucking manipulator. No, because you are in love. It's the purest energy that you can emit, but it is the most powerful energy that you can emit. And that is why the animals, everything living will be at your feet, because you are emitting the energy of love. And it is so magnetic, you cannot resist this energy. And from that energy, you create the life outside. And from the creatrix, stage 5, you realize that all this time you've been on a journey of healing, of ascension, of learning a lesson. And the veil falls because you realize that every stage served a purpose. Every stage served a purpose. And now it is reflecting back to you. And the best part, that at the stage of creatrix, you realize that because from within, that's why you have to come to the stage of self in stage 4, because only from the stage self, you can create out, not the other way around. Only from being in tune with self. Okay? Stage 5 is creating from within. Not only you realize the life is a mirror, you also realize, holy cow, I can create anything I want. And I can create the love of my dreams. I can create my favorite house to live in. I can create freedom in my life. I don't have to work the job I'm working. I can create the travel experiences. I can create the money. Only after you rewrite your whole idea, you heal your story with money, because so many people have such negative story around money. That's why they don't have any. They rewrite the story around money, and money becomes the magic, the tool, the tool of God, the tool of divine fulfillment to create the life of a creatrix. Chris, thank you. Yes, we're gonna get there. Don't you worry. Hang out with me, okay? I'm gonna get you there. Stage 5, the creatrix. So, with that being said, all of that fell so perfectly together, where I felt so deeply inspired to share the life concepts, and I've put it all into music. And the album that I've created under Katya Melvin, the artist, called The Stages of Awakening, outlining all 5 stages. And the second Katya album that I've created, called This Is Why I Rise, outlining my journey of coming from nowhere, of only having $500 in my pocket. And 2 days later, after paying for a cab in New York City, buying like Greyhound bus ticket, eating some pizza in New York City, I had $200 left, and I still had a full week to go on and not get paid. And I had no idea where the money was going to come from. when I first arrived into United States at age 19. Okay. I shared my story of rupture. I shared my story of rupture when I lost the child. And I realized nobody is coming to save me. It is my job to save myself. And my awakening into the creatrix. And from the place of creatrix, I have put together the most high vibrational affirmation songs to fall in love with life, to appreciate the little things, to become magnetic to money, to become magnetic to opportunities and people around you. This is why I rise, because I maintain, I create from within, and I keep myself in that high of a vibration that I have outlined in the music album called This Is Why I Rise. I'm about to share links with you, okay? So how is Katya Melvin different from the Love Goddess, the artist? Because I don't know who missed the part where I shared I have published 2 music artists on major platforms. 2 music artists on major platforms, Katya Melvin and The Love Goddess with 3 S. The Love Goddess with 3 S. And Katya Melvin is the Creatrix album that is coming from a stage of Creatrix, that is coming from the mountaintop and give you the perspective of what is being created and how, and raising the vibe and the frequency to keep you there in a place of overflow, because you create with your energy and life is a mirror. So what energy are you carrying? Victim? Are you carrying angry energy? Are you carrying peace energy? Are you carrying love goddess energy? Or are you carrying overflow energy of the creatrix? Okay. And then the Love Goddess album is centered around more of lower stages, right? It is centered around being angry and stepping into your power. Okay? Stepping into your power of overcoming the relationship that did not work out. Settling for something you don't want to settle for. There is an album called Double Standards, how society is communicating us for who we should be, and yet again goes around and communicating us another side of things. For example, the society is communicating us, oh, be sexy, but then also at the same time, the society is communicating, oh, put clothes on, right? Whichever fuck do you choose? Same. Oh, lose weight, but don't be too skinny. What the fuck, right? So there is double standards that the woman inside the Love Goddess album is rising against. Love Goddess is really stepping into her power and elevating herself into the place of love. Elevating herself into the place of love. Okay? So that's what Love Goddess is about. And becoming so and falling in love with herself, and specifically in the Love Goddess album, it is focused on the relationship and erotic lust, romance aspect of it, plus stepping into the power, right? In the first album called The Dark Femme Rising, I have shared my own story of how I was cheated on by a man that I thought would become my husband at first. And how when I left to Russia, he completely ghosted me and I could not even, I could not get a hold of him. I didn't even know if he died. So it's that anger. It's the anger and the power. But the anger is your first step on a path of ascension into the next stage of taking your power back and rebuilding your life on your terms. Okay? So the Love Goddess, the Dark Femme Rising album under the Love Goddess is the album where women are just finally said, enough, I'm stepping into my own power. The Double Standards album is women rebelling against the double standards of society. And then I have He's Obsessed, where men are singing about women that they admire and lost because they didn't care enough. It's a little bit on a darker side. I still love that. I still love that whole dark femininity aspect, even though I know it's just a stage. It is the contrast from which you see, life is built on contrast. You don't know what is good until you know what is bad, okay? That's why we all are on these lessons, a journey of lessons, journeys of spiritual ascension, so to say, right? So when we are going through the stages, we are receiving a perspective of, this is something we don't want because this is something we do want. And it's a selection point. It is simply a selection point. If you create from your energy, and yeah, now you know what you don't want, and now you know what you do want, your only work is to shift yourself into what you do want. But most people cannot do this work. They're not trained. They're here energetically, and that's why nothing gets created to their liking. Okay? So, oh gosh, okay. Let me share the albums with you finally here. Okay. Okay. You can find the albums here. It looks like the links are kind of showing up slightly messy. Did I copy it correctly? I think I did. Okay. All right. This is like whatever you're streaming, like it published on many places, but I decided those are the 3 main streaming platforms. I use YouTube Music myself. I used to do Apple Music. I recently unsubscribed because it didn't make sense for me to pay for the 2 music apps. I gave you Spotify link because that's a major music platform. I gave you Apple Music link, and I gave you YouTube link. Okay, so it is on all major platforms, and you can check it out now that you know why I'm so passionate about it, why it is special, why it is important. And the most important thing is really the stages of awakening that I'm here to come out and share with you, because that is where the entire body of work has been culminated to explain to you from which lens to look at everything that I have shared with you. Okay? And one of you right now is currently under some sort of awakening stage. By the way, let me remove the banner real quick. One of you is currently under one of the stages of the awakening. The first album that I want for you to go check out is under Katya Melvin, the artist, called The Stages of Awakening. So you understand what I am sharing here with you today. One of you right now is either in stage 1, the victim, or in stage 2, the rebel, the angry one, or stage 3, the acceptance, finding peace with yourself, ready to move on with life, or stage 4, the love goddess, the woman that is finally honoring herself and living her life from within, from a place of love, in her feminine energy. And the stage 5, the creatrix, the woman who creates her own reality, the woman who builds her empire, the woman who makes money, the woman who builds from within. She's creating the life she wants to live. For some of you, this could be business and mission and voice. For others, this could be a wholesome family with a very with a free way to generate income in your life and not depend on something you don't like doing, right? You are in one of those stages right now. Okay, so if you identify yourself in one of these stages, by the way, the victim most likely does not know she's a victim. She's not aware. That's the problem with victim mentality. They don't know that they're in victim mentality, and they don't know that it can be better. They would not even be watching this video if they're in victim, because they manifest the reality for themselves that is only unfair, where they lose something, where people take advantage of them. Those people are in victim stages. They would not understand or see themselves as victims, right? People start seeing and seeking help and following the path when they are in angry stages, the path of awakening. But that's why there are 4 Ds that universe uses to create rupture moments, because victims can't see themselves as victims until something so bad happens that they cannot avoid it anymore. And they're forced to make the change. They have no choice. Okay. And so if you're finding yourself in rebel stage, in peace stage, most of you will be either in rebel stage or in peace stage. Very few of you will be in the love goddess stage, and extremely very few, maybe 1% of you will be in the creatrix stage. Okay. So if you are identifying yourself as one of the stages, know that there is a next stage available for you. And I know the path how to get to the next stage. Okay? Because there's no shortcut. I hate to tell you that there is no shortcut, but you can accelerate the path. Okay? You can accelerate your journey to the next stage. It does not have to take that long because nobody showed you, or there was no mentor available, or there was no pathway, or somebody didn't help you work through the lessons in that particular stage that were available. Okay. So if you are in one of those stages and you are knowing for a fact that you want healing, you want for the life to be better to you, you want to fall in love with your life and yourself, you want to be at peace and acceptance, and beyond that, just really blooming with your own sense of authenticity and acceptance and living your life, loving your life, know that it is possible for you. I am hosting a workshop virtually. It's going to be virtual workshop, probably on Zoom, on the 25th of June, in 10 days. It's going to be Thursday from 10 to 12 a.m. It's going to be Thursday, 10 to 12 a.m. Replay will be available. So if you can't join live, that's fine. Replay will be available. It's $15 to sign up. I made a no-brainer price, okay? It's $15 to sign up, and we will go through the stages. And we will identify what is preventing you. It is limiting belief or some form of pattern that you keep running into. Again, if you take the idea that you create life from within, you keep recreating the pattern because the lesson from the pattern is not yet extracted. And once you extract the lesson, the pattern will disappear, right? So instead of blaming, oh, life is unfair, or this keeps happening with me, you know that you work from within and you change your life from within. And the pattern will go away once you learn the lesson, once you come to terms with it, once you come at peace with it. And you will open the door to rise to the next stage of awakening that will accelerate your journey so that you can live life that feels easy, that feels beautiful, that feels like you are waking up, you jumping from the bed with the passion and excitement that you knew when you were a little girl, life was meant to be fun, and it is. You come to the fact that the love that you are seeking from other people, you are finally able to receive. That's how receive method is developed, right? You are receiving this energetically. So the next level is available to you, right? So the next level is here for you. You are able to receive. You are able to receive. You do the workshop so that you become so tuned in to the reality that you are creating for yourself. You become so fired up because the best way to create that reality is through fun and path of least resistance. I will share with you the way the cycle of life, the way the energetic flow works through you when you clear out the path. So things come into your life faster because you no longer resisting. You are clearing all the blockages out. And from that place, you feel easier. You feel energetic. You feel like you finally have control of your life, not in a gripping sense of the word, not in a sense of the word where things must, because that's insecurity and hiding, but in a sense that finally things are lined up for me. Finally, things are lined up for me in a way where I can just continue living and improving and truly mean the life that I am living, create life by design intentionally, okay? I want for you to join me on, hold on June 25th, which is Thursday at 10 a.m. So we could identify the specific blocks and the specific healing that is needed for you to finally let go of those patterns and come out on the other side of that. Identify those limiting things that you keep carrying so you can finally breathe with ease. Identify the baggage that may not even be yours that you're still carrying so you can fall in love with your life and yourself again. So you start seeing yourself, your body, your life, your business, your money as a stepping stone to creation of something bigger, creation of something so much better, because everything is energetics. I am the dark femininity expert, but you know what that means? Shadow work. May not be the sexiest, may not be the prettiest. And I do this with myself every single day up until now, and it will continue. Shadow work and letting the blockages and limitations disappear, dissolve energetically for me to step into my next level. Identify the blockages energetically before I can even receive an idea to an action to take. It always roots within. It is always inside of you. Okay? It is always inside of you. You are the roots and the bottleneck to everything that you want. And you just need to step aside. You just need to release. It's like keeping your cork underwater. Keeping your cork underwater. Okay? So if you're ready to step into the next level, join me for this workshop called Ascending into the Next Stage of Awakening. Here is the link to sign up and to do your $15 payment. And you will receive access to me, okay? I generally, I charge $1,000 an hour, okay? $15 is a no-brainer, okay? So this is completely you can't even question this. Just go ahead, join me, because that will be your declaration to the universe that you are ready. You are ready to step into your next level. You are ready to receive at a bigger game. You are ready to ascend into the next level of your life. Okay? All right. That's a lot. That was a lot, right? That was a lot. You thought I came here to talk about the music albums that I've launched. But the reason why I've launched the music album is because it is so much deeper. And I've been guided by the universe herself. I've been so obsessed creating this body of work so then I could receive this inspired action to share it with you. I could be here for you, present, showing you that the next step is available, because I wish somebody was here for me when I was going through my stages. Okay? I wish there was a person who showed me the path, like I am showing the path to you. All right. Don't delay. Click on the link, sign up for the workshop on clearing the blocks to your next level stage of awakening. And also, the first thing that you want to do after signing up for the workshop is go to whatever music streaming service that you're using and listen to Stages of Awakening album, so you understand what I'm talking about. All right, my love. Thank you so much for your presence. Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you so much for your attention. You know I'm here. I love you. You can message me anytime. I'm here for you. my heart is open, and I'm sending you so much love.